How is it going, everybody? It is Mike from PC Classic Cars, back with another test drive video. Today we are in this super cool 1968 Ford Mustang GT California Special. This is a really cool Mustang and something that I absolutely love these cars. So again, we have a 68 Ford Mustang GT California Special, and this is a verified California Special. We have a ton of paperwork on the car. We have the Marty report, you have your VIN on your dash, you have your door tag. This car is in the GT California Special registry. We have some paperwork, and then we have a bunch of miscellaneous receipts of paperwork for all of the stuff done to the car over the years. And I can't say enough about how much I enjoy driving this car and how great of a car it is front to back. This is a C code option car, which decodes as a 289 two-barrel car. This one does have the date code correct, which I believe to be the original motor, 289 in it, but it has an upgraded Edelbrock intake and carburetor, so it is now a 4-barrel setup, so it runs just awesome. It is backed by a C4 3-speed automatic transmission. That is what this car would have been optioned with. And then you have your power steering, power front disc brakes. This one is also optioned with factory AC. The heat and AC both function great. The air has been converted to R134A, and it blows really nice and cold. The volume of AC is good. It just makes the inside of the car very comfortable to drive even when it's hot out. As far as the interior goes, I believe the code is 2A, which is standard black bucket seat interior. You still retain an original style interior outside of this aftermarket console and this little billet aluminum plate there. You could go back with the factory console if you want to, but at some point someone ordered this and put it in to have some cup holders, which it doesn't bother me one bit. It still looks nice, and you do have cup holders, which is cool. Seat covers and foam have been redone. I believe the door panels and probably the dash, along with the headliner and the visors. Most of the soft items have been probably replaced back to factory stuff. All of the gauges are standard gauges and super easy to read. All of the gauges are functioning. Even the dash clock is working. You can hear it clicking. It does have an aftermarket retro style stereo. On my Does It Work section, you will see that we have it as intermittent. Most of the time the radio is working. Every once in a while it'll cut in and out. And I'm sorry, my little microphone in the back is sliding around. I didn't have anywhere to mount it. So if you hear something sliding, that's what that is on the package tray back there. What I was saying on the stereo is it'll just be intermittent, but it does have some kick panel speakers on both sides, and you have a retro radio. You can hook your phone up to it. I believe this one is AM, FM, and then Bluetooth. But the intermittent, it's probably just a bad wire or something really simple, so it should be really easy to fix. And then everything else is working outside of the sprayer fluids. For the washer fluid, they aren't doing anything. For the sprayers, again, not something I normally fix, and a really common problem on these old cars. And if someone wanted to get that to work, it probably wouldn't be difficult. Warmed up good. It's nice and positive, has plenty of power for whatever you need it to do. And as I've said a couple times already on this video, just an extremely ironed out car mechanically. Not even just Mustangs, but just old cars, classic cars in general. It's just a really, really good, tight driving car. There's just something to be said about that. I would hop in this car and drive it every day if I had to. I would go to Dallas, I would drive to Oklahoma City. I'm just very confident in the mechanicals, and it's showing 73,758 miles. And judging by the condition of how nice it is underneath, the originality of the driveline, I believe it to be the original miles on the car. And with all the paperwork, it's supporting. So again, I think it is a real actual miles car. The underneath is very nice, no metalwork, original floors, original frame rails. Still retains a lot of the original red oxide primer on the floors. Again, just indicative of a really good original car. A lot of the suspension and steering components look like they've recently been redone, and all that shows well. As you can see with how well this car drives, it's been just well maintained over the course of its life. Exhaust has been done. You have headers, dual exhaust, aftermarket mufflers, and then you have your full tailpipes. On the exterior, it is a factory red exterior car. The paint is the oldest thing on the car. Very well could be a single repaint, I do not know. But it's got its fair share of imperfections. There's some checking on the passenger fender over there, miscellaneous touch-ups and flaws. This is actually how I really like my personal cars. If you get one that's just perfect paint, you don't want to drive it. You get one that's just roached out paint, you can't be proud of it. This car is very presentable. You walk up to it, it's got a great shine, it shows well. But if I drive it to somewhere and it gets a stone chip or it does get a little door ding, it is not going to be the end of the world. You can just touch it up. Again, I don't want to nitpick the paint too hard because it still does show well. It's definitely just an older repaint. Take a look at my additional infos tab on my website. There'll be a bunch of photos of me nitpicking the paint on it, so you can really see that, but nothing that's egregious or jumps out at you. On your suspension, again, like I mentioned before, it looks like it's been recently replaced. A lot of the wear items have been done. It really shows on how well this car drives. It's a super tight driving car. The brakes feel awesome. The steering does exactly what you want it to do, and it just drives like a bone stock 68 Mustang. I forgot to touch on the exterior, being that it is a California Special. You get the California Special hood pins, you have the side scoops, you have the GT California Special graphics, then you have the special deck lid that these cars came with. For me personally, if I was going to own a Mustang Coupe, it would be a California Special. I think they are fantastic looking cars. You get the GT wheels, and they just have a more aggressive styling to them. And a lot of people take regular Mustangs and put the GT California Special stuff on them just because they look so cool. The tail lights, the deck lid, the decals, all the stuff that I mentioned, they just are great looking cars. Glass appears to be all original. The manual windows, manual locks, all that stuff works. A couple tiny little road scuffs on the windshield, some minor scarring on the side windows from rolling up and down, but all the glass is in good original shape. Oh, a little squeak there. It is a little wet out here, so the brakes probably did get a little bit of moisture on them. There it goes, they stopped squeaking there. Seat foam, like I said a second ago, has been done. You do sit up kind of proper. I'm 6 foot tall and I fit in here very comfortable. Just a really cool, really fun car. We're reading about 50 miles an hour right now. I was cruising this car before at about 65, 70, even 75 miles an hour, and it's just spot on and just an easy car to hop on the highway and cruise. You do have your GT California Special fog lights. The assembly's right there. You pull that, turns your fog lights on. Obviously, it's got the little black caps that you're going to have on there. You got to pop those off if you want to actually be able to use the fog lights, but it's cool that you have them. Carpet's really nice. You have your pony mats, front and rear. Back seat looks great. You do have some aftermarket speakers in the package tray that I forgot to mention as well. Car doesn't overheat, has an aluminum radiator in it, stays nice and cool. And then you have your factory front sway bar and then your standard 8-inch rear end. Overall feel, if you haven't figured it out by now during this video, I absolutely love this car. This is something that I would keep in my personal collection. I just love the California Specials. If I am going to own an earlier Mustang like this, and if it's not going to be a fastback, it would be a California Special. They're just really cool. Every time I get one, they always sell right away. And I think the red with the black is just a great color combo. As always, I appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of my test drive videos. Make sure you check out my virtual description. I'll dive into some more fine details that I didn't talk about in this video. Also, check out the additional informations tab on my website, pcclassiccars.com. It's going to have a bunch of really good photos of all the paperwork I have, all the photos of the imperfections, and it's going to have a screenshot of my doesn't work section. So check out all three of those things. You're watching the test drive, the virtual description, and the additional informations tab. And we'll see you guys on the next test drive video. Thanks again for watching.